What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former 5 division world champion, legendary, former pound for pound king, undefeated 50-0, the man known as Money, Floyd Money Mayweather, had a message for today's fighters, the crop of welterweights in today's time, in this era. Undefeated, unified WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl the True Spence Jr., undefeated WBO pound for pound king Terrence Bud Crawford, 2 division world champion, former welterweight WBC world champion Danny Swift Garcia, and 2-time welterweight world champion Showtime Sean Porter. He has a message for them. He says, stop chasing the legend in Manny Pacquiao, 8 division world champion, superstar, legendary Filipino boxer who's currently the WBA welterweight world champion. He says Manny Pacquiao is over 40 years old. Stop chasing an old man and focus on fighting each other. Build your own legacy off of each other. And if the fight comes and happens to come around for Manny Pacquiao, then you take the opportunity. He said, but stop chasing Manny Pacquiao. He says he hears and sees a lot of these young boxers, young welterweight champions, looking and trying to force their way into a Manny Pacquiao fight. He said Manny Pacquiao has earned, he said he turned pro before me. He says all the things he accomplished within the sport, he's 40 years old. He says he's an 8 division world champion. He said let Manny Pacquiao pick and choose who he wants to fight at this point in time in his career. Stop chasing him. Let him choose you. Build your legacy off of each other. It's enough for y'all to build your legacy off of one another. Said me and Pacquiao didn't chase each other. It happened to fall. The chips fell the way they may, right? So he's saying let the chips fall the way they may. Stop trying to force a fight with a guy that's 40 years old, and has been in the sport for this long. He finds it somewhat disrespectful. He said that they have each other to focus on and face off against one another to build their legacy off of one another. So, me personally, you guys see that I don't always include, I kind of sometimes forget about Manny Pacquiao, including Manny Pacquiao, when I'm talking about the current state of the welterweight division, the state of boxing. Because Manny Pacquiao is on the wrong side of 40, his time has passed. Like Floyd Mayweather said, Manny Pacquiao had his time. He don't truly understand why he's still doing what he's doing. He said I could come back and, beat these champions and work my way through the ranking system and become a world champion again. He says, but I'm not going to let the sport retire me. Now, if an opportunity presents itself for one fight, he'll do it for a big enough fight. But he said that, Manny Pacquiao being fully active within the sport, he said, blessings to him, he hopes that he made the proper investments at this point in time in this stage in his career that he can retire, and he's doing it now solely because of the love of the sport. But he said that he saw and witnessed too many boxers not be able to enjoy retirement. So he said that at this point in time, these boxers should be ashamed of themselves chasing an old Manny Pacquiao. He said let Manny Pacquiao pick and choose who he want to fight at this point in time in his career because he earned it. He said, all you guys are young. Y'all could build your own legacy off of one another. Focus on one another. Focus on building your legacy off each other as y'all are young. So stop chasing Manny Pacquiao. My thing is this. I partially agree with Floyd Mayweather and I partially disagree with Floyd Mayweather. If Manny Pacquiao is going to be active and Manny Pacquiao is holding a title and Manny Pacquiao is still going to be in the ranking system, he's the WBA champion, and Manny Pacquiao going to do that, then if you're going to be fully active and fully indulgent within the sport completely as if you were still young, then you got to give these dudes their opportunity. Yeah, they're looking to build their legacy off of Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao is a big money fight. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao is a legacy fight. All of those things, right? But if Manny Pacquiao is he's on the wrong side of 40. But if he's going to be campaigning through the sport like he's 20 years old, 30 years old, then he's going to have to get it like he's 20 and 30 years old. You can't exclude him when he's still fighting within the ranking system. He's still holding a title. So Manny Pacquiao is putting himself in a position where these dudes are calling him out. You know, Errol Spence is looking to be undisputed. So if Errol Spence looking to be undisputed, Manny Pacquiao can't hold belts hostage. He can't hold the belt and then expect these young boxers, these young hungry champions, not to want to put him on their plate, on their resume, on their schedule. Of course they're going to want to do so, right? It's only right. If Floyd Mayweather was in their position, he would want to do so as well. Manny Pacquiao is in the way, so then he got to get ran over, point blank and period. So you can't blame Errol Spence for wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is holding a title. You can't blame Terrence Crawford for wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao. He's holding a title, right? So he's holding up their legacy. So you can't, I understand what he's saying, but then on the flip side of that, there's two sides to each coin. And Manny Pacquiao is holding up their legacy by holding up a title and not allowing them to become undisputed. So if you're going to stand in the way, then you got to expect to be called out. Now, if Manny Pacquiao chooses the position that Floyd Mayweather took, he chooses to take that stand where, he don't have a belt. He's just picking and choosing who he wants to fight, just big fights twice a year and so on and so forth, etc. Then that's understandable. But when you're putting yourself directly in the ranking system, and you're a belt holder, and you gotta expect these dudes to, because you can't hold up their legacy, and then on the flip side of that say, well, I earned it to pick and choose who I want to fight. No, then you need to relinquish the belt and let them build their legacy, because he's holding up their legacy. So Floyd Mayweather have a point, but I agree, but then I disagree, because Manny Pacquiao is still active. Manny Pacquiao just beat an undefeated, unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer who's young, and Keith one-time Thurman. So it's not like he's this old man just picking and choosing and just keeping himself active for a paycheck. That's not it at all. He looked great in that fight. People said that he turned back the hands of time. He just beat Adrian Broner, who's a 4-division former world champion. You can't pick and choose and stay in a ranking system and expect these other bosses not to look to build their legacy and their resume off of his back, because he's keeping himself in the way. He's keeping himself in the conversation. And then he too mentions Errol Spence's name, Terrence Crawford's name. So he can't mention, I want to fight Terrence Crawford, or I want to fight Errol Spence, and then say, and then you saying, well, let him pick and choose who he want to fight. No, he's keeping himself in the mix. So if he keep himself in the mix, he gotta expect to get cooked. Point blank and period. If you find yourself in the mix, in the batter, then you gotta expect to get cooked, and they looking to cook him. Point blank and period. And since he still turned back the hands of time against Keith Thurman, he's definitely relevant within the sport and in the ranking system. So, listen. He's in the way. So Floyd Mayweather, you're wrong when you look at it from that angle. Point blank and period. And, I'm sure people are worried about his health, as Bob Arum, top-ranked CEO, legendary promoter, said that he didn't want to make the fight with Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao because he was worried about his health. Well, guess what? If Manny Pacquiao not worrying about it, and he's still winning world titles and still a belt holder and still in the mix and still active, then that's on him at this point in time. Yeah, he's on the wrong side of 40, but he didn't look like a 40-year-old plus fighter in the Keith Thurman fight. He didn't look like a 40-plus-year-old fighter in the Adrian Broner fight. He don't look like a 40-plus-year-old fighter when he continue to call out Floyd Mayweather. So Floyd Mayweather, you're wrong when you put it in that context. Point blank and period. So listen, Manny Pacquiao calls out Errol Spence, calls out Terrence Crawford. Then he got to make the fight, and what happens happens. Point blank and period. Because actually, in all actuality, these fighters were looking to fight each other and weren't truly making mention of Manny Pacquiao's name until he started making mention of their name and putting himself back in the ranking system and winning world titles again. So that's on Manny Pacquiao. It's not on Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or Danny Garcia, or any other young, hungry champion, your Danish Ugas, Jaron Ennis. You can't blame them. You got to blame Manny Pacquiao. It's his fault. He put himself in that position. So he got to expect to get cooked. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.